Hello, and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. My name is Zeno. I'm your restreamer. But I'm not important because I'm just the one pushing the buttons. What is important is our runners. Today we got an OoTR S7 qualifier. On restream we got Okishi, Incoherent, Kawari, and Pyra. On comms we got Mel and Hag, and they're going to take it away from here.
Hey, thanks, Zenu, and welcome everyone. We are here, Qualifier 12? Do I have that number right? 12?
Number 12, that's right, Milkweed.
Yeah, for Ocarina of Time Randomizer Season 7. We do know our settings, I believe. But I didn't read them. Help.
I don't have that information on hand. Sorry.
All right, let me pull up the race time room real quick here. I'm pretty sure that I heard beatable only though, which is exciting. Yeah, required only, beatable only, and shuffled beans.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with this setting, what this means is that all locations may not be reachable. Only those which are logically required to complete the seed using the generation logic. Those will be the only locations guaranteed to be able to be reached.
Yeah, so what this means is we can have like really funny quirks, like, okay, you know what? Maybe Nocturne is on all dungeons, but Shadows of Stone. We don't have to go in there at all. Exciting things like that. Shuffled Beans, pretty tame as the minor setting, but it does mean that a few items are more immediately accessible. Like, okay, top of lab. You don't need a hook shot or access to river to get up there. It's just there when you go at the lake as adult.
Yes, and let's talk about our runners here just for a moment. All four of our runners have only completed 5 or fewer races, and Pyra, Incoherent, and Kawari are on the outside of the top 64 right now, looking to make a stamp with another finish here today, and get themselves cemented in the top of the field.
Yeah, one of the things is your best score is always dropped. So if your best score kind of is set apart from all of your other finishes, you're going to find yourself much lower than perhaps your performance might average out to in the end. So they're definitely looking to either match or beat that best score even, so that they can get whatever their highest scores are back on the table. And yes, Cloudy Phoenix, you might see runners stay in logic a little more carefully in required only seeds. Someone mentioned GTG key logic. If you walk in and there's a key in the center chest, it gives you a lot of information.
And we are off.
Yep. Our nice vanilla child spawn. I'm shocked to see all of the runners doing the exact same thing. I'm not. Though, honestly, you start with Prelude, maybe you think about doing something a little spicy. Like, oh, I just go adult.
One big chest in Mito's house, that will be a hook shot.
Ooh, okay. Well, anyone who immediately played Prelude's gonna be upset when they get there.
All right, and then a heart container there at the end of the maze.
Nice to get a container early like that.
All right, so we're likely to see a pretty stock standard child start here.
Yeah.
Probably go grab some songs, you know, the usual.
Yeah, definitely. And that Lon Ranch
Prelude
Morpha really means that runners are probably going to be doing the same thing. You don't necessarily know if you want to skip ranch or not in this. Okay, bottom of the well to Morpha.
Oh. OT to Nocturne. Dodongo's foolish. And Deku Tree to Twin Rova.
It's not necessarily all dungeons yet, folks.
Remember? One of those funny quirks, right? Haha,
yeah.
Mel? Ha.
Yeah. Remember when I said Shadow can be a stone? I think all of the runners are going, please be a stone. We do not... We have 3 different hinted bosses now, correct? Morpha...
Twin Rova was hinted.
Twin Rova. What was Bottom of the Well for?
Bottom of the Well was also Morpha, I believe.
Also Morpha. Okay. So the fact that that exists, Shadow could very well be a stone. Yeah, exactly. Well.
Ooh, I have lost my feed.
I have also lost my feed, so I'm going to just pretend that all of the runners are doing the standard checks that they can do in Lost Woods, picking up the song in Sacred Forest Meadow. There's apparently a bomb bag on Child Shooting.
All right, yeah, I'll be a couple seconds here behind on the actual feed. I'll refresh here as well. We have... All right, well, Lon Ranch to Morpha, Iron Boots.
Yep. That is a very easy answer to that question. You know that is a path to Morpha.
There's the other Dodongo's Cavern, Foolish.
Yeah, Dodongo's Cavern Foolish is always interesting. You expect... Oh, and Epona on Burning Cack, by the looks of it. Bolero here in Ranch.
Open up a nice little song chain here once we finally go adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I heard Requiem was on Saria's song, so that's another song check.
I'd be curious if we pick up a projectile, if anyone plays Requiem as child, but nothing to worry about yet unless we have a way to maneuver past child spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you already know that spirit is going to be completable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think probably you choose, you at least go peek those 2 child checks. And that's kind of the nice thing. You don't need a projectile to go there and see what the chests are, but you do need one to collect them. And yes, Nocturne is on Ocarina of Time, so it could be AD. But we have 3 path hints, and none of those are for Bongo.
Yeah, that is correct. If you are just joining us, it is beatable only, so we may not need that Nocturne since it'll be unattainable if Shadow is a stone, as it is on the Ocarina of Time.
And 30 Skulls is dead.
All right, well, 30 Skulls, that knocks that out. We can get more information on 40 and 50 after we take a trip to Kakariko Village. All right, Quarry is going to play Requiem as Child. See what more information they can get out of here.
I mean, this is good info. Like, what's on top of the arch here? Do I need... You don't need to go get beans. That's the best thing. Yeah, all of these... Oh, it's beans shuffled, not planted.
Yeah, it's shuffled. There we go. Sorry, yes.
So we have to go find our beans if there's something of interest. I lied to you, folks.
It's all right. Beans are shuffled. So it actually does mean it makes the river play just a little bit better as child, but we didn't have a way to get there early on.
Yeah. So it adds a check. You'll find beans somewhere if you need them. It's required only, so you might never find them. But river access to purchase whatever item the bean salesman has suddenly becomes a thing. And remembering that you need 60 rupees is very important. And bartender, the settings for this race, the standard ones, it's going to be 6 medallion Ganon's Castle Bridge. So we do need to collect those 6 medallions. And then the spicy settings are required only and beans shuffled. And required only means that unlike normally, you are not guaranteed access to every location in the game. Usually we play all locations reachable, so you will receive all of the items to do every check in the game, and that's not the case here.
All right, so Akishi's going to pick up a wallet here on Bombju Bowling, which surely Incoherent would have done the same, having gone to market a lot earlier, picking up that bomb bag from Child Shooting.
Just depends on what Inco's money situation was.
Very fair.
Farming for Bombchu Bowling isn't very appealing if you know you're probably coming back for night checks eventually anyway. Advantage of grabbing a wallet early is just that you can farm money for a tunic, like Nath is saying, or honestly, maybe you just want to go buy some sticks. You haven't done all of your scrubs checks yet. It's just kind of nice.
It is a good point that was brought up earlier, that whenever we're in beatable only settings, that staying in logic pretty rigidly, I would say, can definitely be to your advantage, so you don't go to places that would just be walled off if you skipped the logic. So, getting any major item could be important for, your read of the seed's logic.
Yep. And I am sorry, Paradox Letter enjoyers. Domain was just hinted foolish. The dream is dead.
Alas.
Paradox Letter is when King Zora has Rudo's letter when you unfreeze him. It's called a paradox because, of course, he should not have the letter, but it also locks access to most of the blue fire, so you are required to go buy it using 2 wallets and a bottle. But it is required only. As mentioned, letter can be an ice. Deku Tree to Twin Rova, Xenu.
Right, we are just about to wrap up all of our overlaps. We're about to see some new content here, I believe. So we'll keep an eye out as the runners are finishing up the first 10 to 12 minutes of their early game here for what is next. I would imagine taking those bombs and hookshot as adult would be within our purview. Go get some more songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really curious to start seeing a few more sometimes hints, honestly. Having 2 paths to Morpha is interesting. Because we don't know what our dungeon layout is yet.
That's right. We still don't have that information, with the potential of all dungeons on the horizon, depending on the reward for Shadow Temple.
Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest information. Is Shadow something that we need to be thinking about? Because suddenly, half the map is off the table.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Dodongo's Cavern is probably one of our dungeons and there's no path bomb bag. We started with a medallion. I'm just thinking as far as Shadow Temple is concerned, it is so high item requirement that to not have that hinted already really makes me think it's a stone.
All right, we're going to get a sword pull here.
Pyra checked the stones there. Yep. And Shadow is Goron Ruby, so AD is dead.
All right. Will not be going into
No.
the Shadow Temple today. We may have to dip our toes into a stone dungeon, but we will not have to be completing all of them.
Yeah. Yep, Shadow locks Shadow, so we will not be seeing Shadow Temple today. Sorry, everyone. Today, Stone Shadow does not find a way.
All right, Pyra's going to get us our full layout. Deku, fire, water, spirit, DC.
Are we sure about what?
Oh, and Inko is going to go dip into Child Spirit here. With Song of Time on Bolero spot.
Okay. Yeah, so Nocturne is on Ocarina of Time. Shadow is a stone dungeon. And so we are yeet. Yeah, so that's one of the nicer quirks of required only. One of the other nice quirks is, okay, you know, fire is required. You can still get key locked out, even though it's required. You can just have items and a boss key in the first, like, 5 checks.
Oh, dear. I believe...
Did Pyra just, like, reset?
Yeah, I'm afraid they didn't save. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Oh, this is bad for Pyra.
Wait, they have Bolero.
Oh, he's taking... Yeah, unfortunately, he's taking some songs off of his tracker.
Oh, shoot. That always feels bad. Especially in a qual, yeah, fire arrows were in that first check in Fire Temple, which is interesting. Whether or not runners peak, like dip to do that first check is kind of interesting. I like to do it as soon as I have Bolero because I know I can get back out.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Pyro might get a little tilted here, but, you know, most of these items are still available. I don't think he lost that much. Gotta shake that off.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in because we're getting late into qualifier season here. Only, you know, I mean, we're over halfway through with our quals, so if you've got outstanding races, you need to be completing them, you know, not forfeiting at this point in the qualifier. So you just have to make the best of it that you can. You know, Pyro will have the information. You know, he went straight to the bomb bag, obviously, knew where to get that. So we'll see if Pyro can make up some lost ground. Just an unfortunate circumstance. While we check out the Goron City Maze here on Okishi's side, I did not see any large chests, but there is a hint here. Flare Dancer is a small key, I believe.
Small key? Okay. Another small chest over there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Flare Dancer, that hammer chest up at the top of Fire being a small key is kind of nice. I said you can get key locked out pretty early, so knowing that there's a small key up there kind of just increases that. The optimism.
Yes, welcome in, Virgil Dante. Our major setting today is beatable only, and then our minor settings were beans shuffled. And Okishi heading into Foolish DC, not to get any items, but because it is a medallion, we will need to be clearing that to access Ganon's castle. And it'll be a rather quick run through here.
Yeah, you know, knowing that Dodongo's Cavern is foolish, I suspect most runners end up saving this until they have choose.
Fair, and maybe Okishi did not see this hint yet. It is possible. They have probably diverged the most from the other three. Mm-hmm. Yes, and you have a question of beatable only. That means that only locations that have items that are required to beat the game's seed for this playthrough are guaranteed to be reachable by the players. So we have a great example of this already. OOT, the Song of Time check, teaches you Nocturne of Shadow, but Shadow Temple is a stone, so we cannot even get to Shadow Temple at all this race, because Nocturne is locked behind actually the completion of Shadow Temple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do have the runner's full layouts, and I can see on Oak's side that Dodongo's Cavern is marked as foolish.
Fair enough.
There, so it's just do you want to get it done now? With Bolero, it's not too bad to get back here. Getting to Dodongo's Cavern is always the tricky thing. Like, when do I route this in if I don't want to do it right away? And I mean, it saves you probably five minutes to just do it with choose.
Okishi, they're currently sitting in the top 25 spots, I believe, on the leaderboard right now, having completed 5 races. So I like to see what their intuition is telling them here, what their race sense is. They want to go ahead and clear out DC. We'll see if that is a profitable choice for them here.
Was that 50 as a strength? Bulk Kid is a bottle.
50 is a strength upgrade.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst question marks you could ever find.
Especially on beatable only. That is terrifying.
Yeah, suddenly that early bottle and that early hook shot are looming, and you're going, no, please no. Yeah, 50 strength is one of those things that I would definitely continue, not like pushing for, but I'd collect.
Yeah, I think I would aggressively collect in this case. That's just my sense here. Again, I am not I am not qualifying for this tournament nor any tournament in the near future. So or the outright future. So that's just me sort of yapping here. Big chest in DC is the Stone of Agony. Could have been something nice there, like another bomb bag.
Yeah, what Nath is saying. I would say collect along the way. I would not say like rush or grind skulls.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, like just anything on the path. I would take the extra, whatever, 15 to 20 seconds that it might be off your path. I think I would go and grab those.
Yeah. Yeah, like DC suddenly that's some value into doing more of DC with that hook shot. There's a few semi-quick skulls since you're here already anyway. And Oak gonna be finishing Dodongo's Cavern as Inko starts it. Pyra's just doing the loop up in Crater. And Corey is showing us Dampe. Nothing too exciting in Adult Cac so far, but we did pick up Storms, it looks like.
Song of Storm's nice. Figured we'd find it fairly early here, given that it is on the path to Morpha there in bottom of the well. A slingshot.
Yeah.
That was in the crater wall. I missed that when we were peeking. Aha!
A bow. And some arrows.
And some arrows, there you go.
Yep. So, the next big question becomes, where is Zelda's Lullaby?
Yeah, that is a good question. There are not too many more places left for us to look that we know about. We've gotten a lot of hints. Probably Minuet spot's a likely candidate, I would say.
Yeah, Minuet. I'm just gonna go full-on comedy option here. Ice. We just don't need it. We just don't need it for water or spirit.
That would definitely free up a lot of the seed there for you to just blast.
Fire Temple Path to Volvagia.
Okay. Well, so it's not that wallet.
We did find fire arrows there.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly a good hint to have, because, you know, French vanilla items or even vanilla item placements, those are the most troll. So having that information early is very useful for our runners.
Yep.
And yes, it is quite literally on the path to Volvagia. Thank you, Serious Business. Thank you. Fire Temple is within the path of the dungeon boss. Thank you.
I don't know about that. Sounds fake. Sounds fake.
Pyra the Goron trolling Pyra the player here. So Kishi heads into the Dampe race. They'll pick up their bow there.
Yeah, the fire arrows are questionable. There's only a few things that can be telling us about Barrett, Haunted Wasteland, Composer Grave Torches. When is Boss Rando gonna be in a season?
Ooh.
Probably not. We have dungeon entrance rando. Obviously I can't speak to future seasons, but I doubt that Boss Shuffle would be in the main tournament.
Yeah, you may not see it in standard, but the ZSR community and just all the different racing categories, you can definitely find someone racing Boss Shuffle eventually, I know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, Boss Shuffle is a lot of fun to play with. It adds a lot of nuance, especially if you were to combine it with what we have here, like Required Only and Boss Shuffle. Suddenly it becomes hilarious. All of our runners kind of just going through DC one by one. Inko finishing up as Pyra enters. Pyra will be close to finishing up when Kawari enters.
They're all just lining up to beat up King Dodongo. Poor guy.
Yeah.
He's just a punching bag right now. And we'll have adults shooting, taking that bow. Oh, I believe actually we saw Cruel Air do this, and I did not remember what the reward was.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I'm more surprised that they are doing it knowing it's foolish and not collecting skulls if they checked skull hints before. It made sense why Oak didn't, because as you can see, he's checking these hints now.
So the question remains, what is the next... What is our next step here, now that we've sort of ran through the same things again? Okishi sort of, quote-unquote in the lead at the moment, just because they've kind of completed everything that the others have first. Thinking about Bolero, deciding against it, gonna go back Child? Or perhaps doing more. I'm sorry, please go ahead, Bill.
I would certainly want to make sure I'm checking that Minuet song. But Bottom of the Well, obviously, you're gonna go do that. Picking up that Storms, knowing that it's path. And depending on what exactly that path is, if it's another wallet, you kind of go, ugh, thanks. If it's the long shot, I think you just go do some of water. But
okay,
it also
so
opens up GTG.
Yeah, understood. Akisha gonna grab this skull here outside Ganon's castle. Also gonna have the effect of setting time of day to night.
Spawns are vanilla. But yeah, 10-20 skulls, valley, lake, river is available. Planting beans in a few locations is available.
If we find them.
Yeah. But also the just bean sales check.
That's right, bean salesman.
Oh, lake is foolish. Thanks, chat. Well, we will not be doing lake then.
Could do it, but it will proffer us nothing.
Could do it. Yes. Random spawns are a draftable setting.
Posture, I imagine you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone just passing up big chests when they're right on your way. Could be a useful utility item. What if it was furores? That could be very useful.
Kawari purchasing a Goron tunic right away.
I respect that. He saw that fire path to Volvagia.
Furores can be in a foolish location. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, I don't think we'll see water temple skulls. Probably. It could be skull logic.
All right, fair enough. Well, then 4 hours cannot be in a foolish. I actually thought anything that was not required was in there. That's my fault.
I actually think in required only, like even scales can be in foolish locations. Most of the rules we know about where items can and can't be very different. Diesler. Alright, Oak having a little trouble with hookshot extension here to collect this skull. This is logically hammer locked. There we go. But yeah, 10 and 20 skulls. Bottom of the well. Forest is a stone, but it is in logic.
And a few more Song of Storms checks here available. You have to go to child. Ha! Ha ha! Wait, hold on. We have we just got a King Dodongo path hint.
Oh.
Market path to King Dodongo.
Okay, so that bomb bag is path. And it means that we're not getting a Deku. So we already know there's no path slingshot, but Kokiri's sword must be hinted.
Sometimes hint for Kokiri's sword then. I see. Alright, that does make some sort of sense. Or, sorry, an always. Okay.
Which, I thought we saw frogs. Did we see frogs? I thought we saw frogs in trail here. Was dead. So that leaves us with Skull Mask and Big Goron. That's great, Corbinik.
Oak really taking the aggressive line on skulls, making a hard commit here early. It's an interesting debate when you're in. Oh yes, thank you for. And look, you're trying to impress Mel here, not me. Anyway, I do think that sort of hard committing so early does put you at, kind of exposes you to some risk, but it's also the type of thing that can, win you a qual if you commit early and it's the right call. So.
Yeah, I think rushing 20 is always fine, honestly. There is a sometimes hint in the pool for 20, but it's rare. So I don't see a problem with rushing 20 and then just kind of casually collecting up until you find a strength or both of your strengths. And yes, Rob Dog, as Tomal mentioned, it is beatable / required only, and shuffled beans. And there is a strength on 50. Today, it does put all dungeons off the table. Yeah, Nat, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, you know, rush up to the 20, and then if you're still not finding strengths when you're completing dungeons and they require them logically, but you can get around it. Alright, Pyra's gonna show us River here.
And we're gonna get the minuet song. I would expect lullaby. Oh no, serenade. Okay.
Lullaby and ice? Lullaby and ice? No.
I mean, the implications of that are huge.
That's too much. There's no way. There's no way we could get Nocturne Oot with Stone Shadow and ZL in ice. But yeah, where's our hammer then?
Yes, yeah, I mean, the implications of that, if you could read that seed, and just imagine, just for a moment, if somehow, you know, the logic works, or I shouldn't say somehow, if the logic works such that ZL is ZL locked, and you have to make that choice on 50 seeds, or 50 skull strength, what a cruel seed this is.
Yeah. Pyra taking advantage of time of day to pick up some... Oh, 4 skulls. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Water Temple is exactly 2 checks and Morpha. Alright. We got a lens. We wouldn't expect lens minigame to have anything. We already have our path to King Dodongo. There's the copy of Ranch to Morpha. Yeah, depending on what is in bottom of the well, it could be a very quick water. If it is a ZL-less seed, that's pretty huge, honestly.
Oh, they liked Pyra's pathing here. Going river and taking boots up to Sacred Meadow. I like that.
Yep. All of our runners kind of doing this. Oak and Inko dipping forest. Interesting. I mean, it is available in Logic, which, as we've been saying, following what's available in Logic in required only is a good move.
And a lot of skulls in the front half of forest.
Yes. Quite a few quick skulls.
That's right.
I don't think any of our runners set up Mask Quest, did they?
I have not. Well, I've seen someone grab the Keaton mask, but I'm not sure if they turned it in.
Okay.
They may have just went adult after grabbing mask and, you know, not going to Child Cack.
Yeah. Child Cack is really inconvenient without Nocturne or Sunsong. Here. You know you're going for well anyway, so you just kind of put up with wherever you end up. Okay.
Magic is good.
Yep. And Kawari not going into forest like the rest of the runners. So if that magic is what is accessible, I don't know when he comes back here.
Looking like a last location if it's needed.
Yeah, fire arrows are now available.
Especially if you don't have Minuet. That is, it's a long hike back.
Yeah. Yeah, rip Quad Forest. There's not much that we can do in Forest after this anyway. We don't have a strength, so...
Oh boy, we dipping. Dip forest, dip water.
Interesting. And... yeah. Alright, Oak showing off some tech here. Was a little concerned about his time, picked up a heart from a pot, and then reset the timer by unequipping and swimming about a bit. Yeah, exactly, Nath. I would want to know if ZL is going to be required. And Inko's gonna reverse, at least for these fire arrows. So the interesting thing about the fire arrows is that adds some of spirit availability.
I personally love this play, but
yeah, that's
unfruitful.
Not ZL locked. No, Oak did not do compass first.
Gonna shoot the sun. Ah, yes, we're dipping into the reaches of Skull Collection here.
Yep, and now we can see, okay, Inko and Oak both have Keaton Mask. The reason we are asking about this, everyone, is we think Kokiri Sword is probably on one of our always hints. How many skulls are in Logic right now? A lot. Not 50, but a lot. Okay. Inko. Unfortunately wasting some time here in Lake. Lake is hinted foolish.
Doesn't have that information either in mind, recorded, or found, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Heaps.
Your birthday?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Thanks.
Well, a better way to spend your birthday than calling OOT with me. I feel special.
Right? Exactly. No, happy to be here. I was excited how many of these quals actually work out for my schedule this year.
Ooh, choose. So, not worth it, really, but you know, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends. Like, is it the 20 pack?
Well, if it's 20, that could turn useful for
20,
sure.
Yeah, 20 choose isn't nothing. Is it worth doing all 7 chickens? Probably not. Oh, thanks, Corbinik. I did not mean for this to happen.
Blame Doc. We all blame Doc.
But thank you all. Yeah, I think we saw a bottle was hinted on Skull Kid. Did I make that up?
I believe that we have seen that, yes.
Yeah. So there's a bottle available, but that's true that if Shoot the Sun was a bottle.
All right, Kawari is where we think we need to be. We know, we know that bottom of the well is on the path to Morpha. Probably not for that though. It's just Nehru's love.
No, we do not have settings on where that matters at all. Oh my god, Corbinik. No. Yes, we have Saria's song. And there, oh, it was a big Poe.
Oh, big Poe. Well, I like that's some efficiency there.
Yeah. So big Poe bottles are one of the things that actually have logical implications. Like aside from just the bottle, a big Poe you can't get rid of without turning it into the hut. And we have,
and actually, please go ahead. Yeah.
Oh. Market is a path location. It was for King Dodongo, so our bombs were there, but it doesn't mean that there's not something else there. Additionally, Epona is very late in this seed.
Exactly.
It's on Burning Cack behind fire and water completion. No, Rob, it was a big Poe bottle on Skull Kid.
I was thinking it looked like another bottle on Shoot the Sun, but I really couldn't tell.
Mm-hmm. Another big chest there.
Oh, you think it was a Deku Nut? Okay, well, I just completely blind. I thought it was something flashing and sparkly on the top of a bottle, but of course.
Yeah. So one of the things that I would be paying attention to in bottom of the well here is key logic as well. Even though we don't collect all of the keys because we know how to get around it. Alright, well that's not our path.
Still looking for our path to Morpha. Aha! Survey says a long shot.
There's our long shot, and that is not behind Lullaby with our bomb leg. We see a key here. Is ZL locked? But that slingshot is not what we needed, and that's what we would be looking at.
Are we thinking that Lullaby would be on Forest Medallion turn in then?
Yeah, if it is reachable, it's on Prelude behind fire completion. But it doesn't have to be reachable is the thing.
That is correct.
Oak didn't show us compass chest in water. Yeah. Quarry's gonna go in here, has tunics, has longshot, has irons.
Oh, I missed that Zora tunic was also in the well. Huh,
Yeah.
it's almost the full kit there in the well. I see.
Yeah. Alright, and it's gonna show us compass first, so we'll have information a little sooner than Koari will, obviously. But if this is boss key, like, that could be big.
It is not Bosky.
The dream is dead, everyone. Lullaby is just gonna be hanging out.
So we really need to understand how to navigate the fire temple then.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that'll be our key to unlocking Lullaby.
Yep. So the interesting thing there is we don't have a lot of fire arrow options. It could very well just be that. All right, Oak showing off some fun tech. Usually, what you do is you get yeeted into this skull by the lake.
There we go. What's their count at 14? See, 12 and 10 marked for Incoherent and Pyra. Quarry has a couple. I don't think they've farmed skulls as hard as the others, but I might just be making that up and just haven't seen them. But that I have noticed, they've not been farming skulls as tough as Oak.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Quarry gonna show off just how much of Water Temple you can actually do when you have the iron boots. Usually, you're, lowering the water if you have gold scale water, but you can actually do Dark Link Loop still. You can do Boss Key. You can do Dragon Chest. Child Spirit did not have a small key. I think it was 2 just dead checks.
Where was... Oh, there's the boss key.
Right, vanilla boss key. Well, ZL is definitely available then.
And I gotta say, I do need to hand it to Pyra here. They've sort of shaken off that unfortunate crash or missave, or I'm not sure exactly what happened. It might have been a RetroArch crash, but and they've sort of tried to make up their ground here, but they've been playing steadily and are not too far behind when they had to make a restart of it.
Whatever the bean seller has is not of interest to Inko. I missed the actual text, but it's not something exciting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of skull skippage going on that are just having chat scratching their heads.
Yep.
But we'll get to see a nice check here of Frogs in the Rain.
Yeah, we'll see how the runners decide to play that strength, honestly. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
All right, so our scales are all obviously bomb locked.
Jumping into the medallion lead here on the restream is Kawari beating Morpha.
We haven't found the beans yet, Pineapple. We don't need them. Alright. Pyra picking up Heat Mask. What was that? Goron Pot is nothing?
Believe that is correct. Sorry, my grandfather clock's going off. Didn't want to disturb you all. Likes to chime 1 minute early.
Inko seems to be going for a domain break-in. Oh, okay. Nope. Grandfather clock?
You know, with the bing bong, and so on and so forth, etc.
Haunted Wasteland is in Logic, but I believe we saw it from Inko and it was nothing.
Yeah, it was a piece of heart, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a heart chest. I can't be sure if it was container or piece.
Alright. Inko picking up Skull Mask. Kind of expecting this to be Kokiri Sword. But we'll see.
Oh, more chews. It's nice. Kicking yourself now a little bit since you did find chews along the way after you've completed Foolish DC.
No, I don't think we've seen Big Pose turned in.
No, we have not turned in Big Po.
Alright, Pyra doing chickens. Could be. Wow, already at happy 1 hour? Amazing how time flies. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Give our runners a follow. Okishi, Pyra, Incoherent, and Kawari. Their links are there in chat. Thanks to them so much for participating in this qual, allowing us to restream it, giving us something to do on this Wednesday evening. Our tracker today, Tomo, Waylon, DFX. Our restreamer is Xenu, hanging out in chat, making sure everything works. And there is our Kokiri Sword as expected. Again, the way we knew that, even without the hint, is that we had a double path to Morpha. We should be guaranteed a hint for each boss, if there is a hintable item. We knew our slingshots didn't lock each other, so we knew that we were looking for Kokiri Sword on an always hint. Go us. Sorry, I stopped my train of thought. Thanks to Hag for joining me on comps tonight.
Happy to be here with the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Mel. We're
you.
calling Season 7 qualifier action here in OoTR Standard. Joining us here in the middle of quals, where everyone's looking to put up a better time, you know, to increase their standings on the leaderboard. We've got several runners here on the restream that are looking to crack the top of our leaderboard and get themselves into tournament play or into bracket play.
Thanks, Rob. Could K-Sword have been a sometimes hinted location? No. I mean, yes. Sorry. Light arrows are the only one that have the explicit always hint only thing. It could have been on a sometimes hint, but we were pretty sure that it was always.
We just saw Inko get the Kokiri Sword from Skull Mask.
Yeah,
and the Deku Theater turn-in.
I think this is where we start seeing, like, there's probably a strength in here. Something that,
Ooh, if that's the case, that's big.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm very interested to ask him, like, okay, you pushed Skull Mask, was it because items were... And there's Hammer, yep.
I see.
Alright, so that path to Volvagia is more likely going to be a strength or hovers hanging out in Fire Temple. So that's big for Inko. The longer other people take to turn that in and make that connection, the better for him. Unfortunately, Pyra is right behind him. So at least on Restream, this is not going to be as much of an advantage for the whole field as it might otherwise be.
Yeah, it's a good just general knowledge of the generator settings and how the hints are laid out. It's the type of information you need to be a contender here in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something as simple as that. You're running around, okay, where's my Kokiri Sword? You should be able to make the connection. Oh, I have 2 hinted items for Morpha. It's gotta be hinted.
All while doing this under the pressure of a tournament setting and executing movement and technique throughout the race. It's not easy, folks, and we've got the best of the best doing it here in this tournament. And we'll see how it all shakes out. Another big chest here in the Deku tree. Ooh, another bow.
Okay.
What are we looking at for go mode? We're looking at our strength upgrades, obviously. We're going to need those.
And mirror and lights.
Mirror and lights. All right, so yes, the looming 50 skull strength upgrade is there. We are going to need strength 2 to get through the Spirit Temple, so we'll see how long our runners go after collecting 20 now until they find a strength upgrade. Do they keep pushing to 50? Do they stop at 20 and see if they can't find 2 more strength upgrades? We'll see the choices the runners make as Incoherence in the basement here of the Deku tree. Gonna grab a couple more skulls.
Yeah.
Pyra up above.
I really think that we need that strength on 50, to be totally honest. And I think runners who push skulls a little harder are going to be in a better position. Yeah, Deku is path to Twinrova. So that hammer and a strength being in like the lava room or the boss key loop in fire would make a lot of sense for both of those paths. I'm not going to be surprised at all if that's the case.
Some real hint convergence, path convergence.
Yeah, it doesn't have to work out that way, but you kind of see it work out that way more often than not.
I'd say it would tend to be more likely in beatable only as well, but
Yeah.
that might just be me intuiting and not actually calculating.
Yeah. And yes, Kokiri Sword was on turning in Skull Mask. Alright, hi Goma, bye Goma. That is Deku done for Inko. Pyra not too far behind.
Another strength here would be lovely. Although you probably couldn't actually get that because of the fire path, so never mind.
Alright, so it is the hammer. And yep, I would do what Inko is doing. I would go adult. I would go beat water and fire. I would expect him to do fire first because he wants that lullaby.
Yeah, and then once we get lullaby, it opens up so many checks. It's almost like a whole new start to the race. Got phase 1 pre-lullaby, phase 2 post.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and we are seeing Valley from Oak here.
Ooh, this smacks of Oak not reading into the Skull Mask. Or maybe they're just making a choice to avoid it, but...
Yep. Oak
Ooh!
Oh, okay. Well, that is... Get your skulls, folks. Get your skulls. That's not...
That could be crucial to 50, indeed.
Yeah, that's... We're not, like, wringing our fingers is 50 in Logic or not anymore. It was, I think, already available between... Oh.
Are those light arrows? The
Those
Valley play paying off.
Yeah.
Oh, Big
And
Bo
there's-
has a streak!
Okay.
Oh, no way! No way! That is
I mean,
crazy.
like I said, just because the market paths, resolved doesn't mean Big Post can't have something. Yeah, Strength 1 being free opens up a lot of options.
Big chest in toilet? It's a bean! That's funny.
Okay. I'm not sure what I thought would be in there when we saw that big chest, but I will admit it wasn't the beans. Alright. We're gonna get some double fire here.
Twice the spice, double fire. Oh man, this could be a very high variable finish here for some folks. I guess that strength 2. The question of where's our final strength upgrade that we'll need certainly looms.
Yeah, and this is just kind of... I mean, what we're seeing from Inko is... Oh no, my feet. Oh, they're back. Like, Inko is sticking to what is in Logic, like we had talked about. He went back for Skull Mask, turned in the bottle that was, available. Yes, there's a boomerang in the valley crate here.
This is well played for Kawari. He's going to get the boomerang and light arrows here.
Wow. Get your blame Trezes in chat. Oh, he did it again. Hi, Trez. Welcome in.
This is hovers in Fire Temple, then. It's about the only thing left for that to be path.
Yeah.
Which is a logical quirk if you are not keenly into the logic of Rando specifically. You do not need hovers, obviously, in the base game to beat the Fire Temple, but based upon key layout, it could require you to have hovers to go into the Volvagia room and get the small key from there to clear out the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah. And Inko gonna be picking up the Song of Time Skull here in Fire. Clearly, finding that Strength 1 wants to push these a little harder. Well, thank you, Trez, for whatever you were fixing in the background. Yeah, with that strength, if people put off turning in big pose, that's pretty big for Inko. Skull count's pretty low though, still under 20.
Yeah, 6 for Kawari. I knew that they were on a very low skull count. Oak, I think he's sitting above 20 now, so they have been farming diligently.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be good for other runners. Gonna be a little unfortunate for Inko. We are strength locked in Fire, not surprising at all, but it is going to clue people in. Okay, what's available? A strength is before this. Of course, they also know that there's a strength on 50, so maybe they just think it's that.
Especially after finding the boomerang, that could be a bait.
All right, Kawari is gonna go do some child checks, it looks like. Does not have Keaton or Skull Mask.
I'm thinking you can actually make the jump to Volvagia's room without needing the hovers.
Yes.
Is it because it's beatable only? I guess you'd still go collect them. They're useful, but you could just. Oh, we don't have the boss key yet. There we go. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We're looking for the boss key.
We're looking for boss key. If the hovers are before boss key, no one's gonna cry about it. But they're
after you just abandon them?
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, speaking of boss key.
Yeah, Pyra actually pulled ahead of Inko here. Inko was having some trouble doing a C-up peak. Alright.
Yes, pulled ahead within the temple.
Yep. There's that big Poe bottle for Kawari. Alright. And I like this play. Someone mentioned there was a big chest and a shortcut. I think you go after that because even if, like, it is just hovers, sure, they're nice to have. There's always a chance that it is something that leads to hovers that we still need. Like if it's Mirror Shield, for example.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good point in favor of clearing out the rest. Ugh, Fire Temple. It's a reasonable gamble to take though. If you want to risk, if you want to play risky, you could risk that it is just the hovers and skipping them. But
yep.
Playing conservatively, you would clear it out and hope to find a Mirror Shield.
Yeah. Yes, Dastar, multiple toilet checks. And there they are. Okay. We have not found Greg, no. We also just haven't seen 10 and 20 skulls. There's no reason that an item can't be just on those.
Absolutely.
Yep, not surprised at all to see those hovers. I'll be right back.
I've got it. Chat, don't be scared. Mail is gone, but we'll hold hands together as we watch Incoherent into the Vivagia boss fight. Having stayed within the logic of the seed, using it to their advantage with the beatable only settings, Incoherent with a slight lead, going to fight a dragon. Pyra right behind them into the boss room, while Okishi is clearing out GGG and Quarry up the river as Child. Let's check out Inko's performance here on Volvagia, dropping the bombs down. And looking like a good kill. Nice job by Incoherent. Gonna grab another medallion. That'll be a prelude check for them, which we are anticipating being Zelda's Lullaby. So the seed is about to be blown wide open here for Incoherent with the green medallion, the forest medallion, off of Volvagia in the Fire Temple. The initial chain that led to this for Incoherent is finding the Curie sword on the Skullmask check. So they knew that with a double Morpha path hint, and a DC, a bomb bag within the market, and no DC hint, it looks like. They knew that an always hint contained the Kakiri sword. So Incoherent and Pyra actually grabbing the Kakiri sword early, clearing out Deku Tree, finding the hammer there, and now they have beaten Fire Temple. The major difference here is that Pyra has not turned in the big Poe bottle off of Skull Kid to get the strength upgrade. Our runners do know, all of our runners do know, that there is a strength upgrade available on 50 skulls. Now we have Incoherent heading back into the Prelude check to get their Zelda's Lullaby. Let's see where they go after this. Pyra right behind them. They're going to play Serenade back into Water Temple for Incoherent. And that'll be the same for Pyra. This is getting spicy. After completing Water Temple, that'll be 5 medallions out of the 6 needed for both those runners. Okishi and Kuwari going to be falling further and further behind the longer they go without obtaining their Kokiri sword. But now this is a big turn-in for Okishi. That's a strength upgrade off of Big Poe. That'll get them started in the right direction. Welcome back, Mel.
Hi. Yeah, I'm very curious where our Skull Mask hints are. Go ahead.
Kokiri sword was on the Skull Mask check. Yeah, Shadow Pad. There you go. It was sus-outable, though, Tomatak. We know this a couple times, but yeah, Incoherent reading, and Pyra both, understanding what the hint layout meant for them, and they hunted around for an always hint. They didn't have the claim check yet, so they could do the mask quest, finding the Kokiri sword as its prize. This will be Skulls and Nightcack for Kuwari. This will up the numbers a bit.
Yeah, with an empty... Oh, it doesn't have the empty bottle.
They need to go into that bottle and get their strength upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, between turning in the bottle, between turning that in and getting that Skull Mask Kokiri sword, like, those are what I would anticipate being the really big dividers in this seed.
Virgil Dante, not only are we imagining, that's currently the reality we're living in. That's the assumption I would say that Incoherent and Pyra are rolling with right now.
Yep.
Alright, just arrows.
It's nothing.
I believe that's all of our slingshot upgrades now.
Yes. And we are going to get a lens minigame check, everyone. So get your guesses in chat.
Your lefts and your rights. Get them in order.
Yep, we need 5 of them. I'm going RLLRR.
Team left. Oh, I'm out. I'm out.
I'm in. Oh, I'm out.
Goodbye, Mel.
Do we have any RRs in here? Oh, new IT guy. All right.
Triple R's.
Yep. All right. Lucid Dreamer, also an RR. Okay.
That's 4 R's.
That's
Trilling
4 Rs.
my heart out. Ah.
Oh. So close. So close.
Big chest. Oh, was it the letter? Oh, it's just the empty bottle. Just the empty bottle.
Interesting. Seed ruined.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that is not...
No, it's not bottle locked.
Pretty sure that is not a bottle then on Shoot the Sun. Okay, Rob Dog was bringing up Lake Foolish in bottles and that having to be a big Poe in a bottle. I believe the call of Deku Nut would have been most likely.
All right. So Inko and Pyra have the ability to make some additional decisions that Kawari wasn't able to make going into water without ZL.
I want to see Kawari's face here. On this turn in. Steady as a stone, no reaction for Kawari. Just takes it in stride.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Oak is the last of the runners to do Child Spirit. There's no, like, items in here. Okay, not going for that skull with that boomerang. Oh, thought about it. Remembered.
There we go. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if Oak is purposefully avoiding Skull Mask, saying if it beats me, it beats me. Well, if that's the case, it is going to beat you.
Yeah, could be.
Or they just not, they're just putting it off because it is a long check, so.
Yeah, it is a long check. We're not getting Nocturne this seed, obviously, so the time to turn in Keaton Mask is when you're doing Bottom of the Well. And if you don't have it when you're going to do that, you're kind of screwed out of making that decision, you know?
I feel ya.
And so it's one of those, like, even if you're like, I'm not doing a Skull Mask, or you just don't have the hint yet, like, that first time passing the mask shop as child, just pick it up. It takes some time, but it sets you up way better, in my opinion. All of this is just my opinion. There's no right or wrong way to make that decision, but in this instance in particular, you're seeing exactly how painful it is to have to backtrack for something like that.
Yeah, and no right or wrong way, but definitely always time considerations that you can use to rank your choices. So it's a good heuristic to have there when you're making your decisions here in the middle of these races. You know, what cost me the most time in the short term? What cost me the most time over the course of a whole run? Just so many calculations to be made on the fly in these races. What we love about this action here.
Yeah.
That's why we're bringing you another season of standard action here in the ZSR community. Season 7, Mel. I am so hyped to get through these quals and to see these runners in action in the bracket stage.
I know. I'm really interested to see what decisions runners end up making for their drafts. Honestly. I think there might be... It's set picks. Thank you. But yeah, so once we get to the actual group into bracket phase, it's best of 3 in brackets. In groups, you're still going to be facing off. Each runner gets to pick a major and a minor setting. It's not automated like the quals are. And yes, there are 20 qualifier races. This is number 12.
Still plenty of large field action to go. 8 more qualifiers after this one.
Yeah, but wrapping up in the next couple of weeks here, so. Alright, and water done for Inko and Pyra. Both of them just kind of trailing each other right now.
It's 5 meds.
And I guess 20 is our other magic. Kawari had avoided forest until now. So I was gonna get the magic in here and get 20 skulls. Inko lowering the water. Is he going back in? He is. Okay, so one of the things about water skulls suck a lot, but there are a couple that are real quick with long shot. So I'm guessing that what we're seeing here is, yep. I don't know that I'd go past this skull personally, but we'll see what Inko decides to do. Okay. So there are
Into
still,
the loop.
Yeah, there are still, I think, 3 items in here. No, Morpho was an item. Morpho was arrows, I think. So there's 2 items left in here. Makes sense to do this. You actually have all of the small keys, so you're not locked out of Dark Link Loop like is very often in Required Only. And you're gonna get a couple extra skulls. These are very time-consuming checks when all you need is Mirror Shield.
Where was that Lake Foolish Hint? Because I've seen multiple people clearing out Lake now.
Yeah.
Could just be for the skull, just for the skull, I suppose. Medigoron. Okay, yeah. So not a hint everyone's gonna get.
We don't know that's the only available one new IT guy, but no one's going to not collect skulls for it. Skulls are for nerds. Welcome in, Wally. Okay, key here.
Looks like we're hunting fairy fountains.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Stuff being behind Lullaby makes a lot of sense. Especially with that hammer path. Like, you're gonna assume it's just for Lullaby, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Yeah, so Deku Tree was Path to Twinrova. We got our hammer there. That got us Lullaby. We know that there's nothing in the GTG hammer locked check. We know that there's nothing in Gerudo Valley hammer rocks. We know there's nothing in Goron City. So following ZL makes a lot of sense, even if it's just keys.
You know, Mel, Pyra may have slipped into the lead on Restream?
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. I mean, I would say Pyra and Inko, it's entirely just...
Yes, who finds what first? Yeah. But an admirable comeback from Pyra, an early crash.
Yeah. Shook it off real easy. Okay, yep. We're gonna get a song here. It's either Sun Song or Minuet. And do the Composer Grave Torches check while we're here. Alright, so Kawari avoided forest earlier, has come here now after having a strength. And so, like, this is a tough decision for him. He's like, the strength has been available for a while, forest has been available for a while, he got magic, he got a Goron tunic here already. So opting to continue in here makes a lot of sense.
Torches in the Composer Grave. We're Bupkis. I believe that is Dark Magician Girl.
Yes. The Yu-Gi-Oh character. Yeah, a lot of them are terrifying. There are a couple that I think are pretty good. All right, and yep, like you mentioned, we're seeing Inko clear out those fairy fountains. Yep. I wasn't paying attention, but I think we were key locked. Yeah, it wasn't even a decision that he had to make, which is good for him.
Or bad. If he had found Mirror Shield, that would have been quite a spike.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, I would say Strength 2 would be the most impactful thing he could have found there. Anyway.
Aw, yeah. Not today, Pineapple. Alright, Inko doing some time of day waiting for a skull here. Suns was in Composer Grave. But without Nocturne, it's kind of hard to route in some of this stuff. 25.
Kawari doing a good job grinding these skulls. Already up to 28. It was only 15, 20 minutes ago we saw he had 6. So good job, Kawari.
Still no Skull Mask though. That's the really tough spot for Oak and Kawari.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Rudo's is still nowhere to be found, so I wouldn't follow ZL into ice, for example. But I would push those fairy fountains.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. We're going to go back into DC for the skulls. It would have been nice to just be able to clear it out full as DC with our bomb shoes.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pyra headed to GTG by the looks of it. Yeah, so now we're seeing runners. They all kind of skipped a lot of skulls along the way, and now that they've found that other strength, it becomes a little more, okay, where am I getting my skulls? Where am I going? No, I think, yeah, Corey's gonna start doing some soil patch skulls. Yeah, the amount of times the runners are going to be going through Lost Woods without Skull Mask is gonna hurt when they eventually get it.
We're learning that Boomerang there is on the ledge in Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, while Oak has let their lead on Skulls slip now, and really just falling behind every moment that they're not turning in the Skull Mask.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate when you see a seed that is really, like, locked behind a single item, and the hint is in a location that none of our runners have seen it. And, like, I know that some people don't like path hints for this exact reason. Like, we were able to deduce Kokiri Sword is hinted. Because when we're looking at it, you know, we're analyzing it here and not having to play. It's easier to go, oh, why doesn't Deku have a hint? It's because that sword is hinted somewhere. And it's hard to keep track of that, and it's hard to make the decisions. Oh, well, there's sometimes hints, there's always hints. What am I gonna try and push? That's true, Corbinik. That is a ZL locked location that I think you would probably go back to. Where could Mirror be? Mirror can be pretty much anywhere that's left. It can't be in forest, or it can't be in forest or shadow temples. It's not gonna be in lake, domain, or Dodongo's cavern. It's not on skulls. Let's see. We've seen all of GTG. No, we haven't. Strength 2 block in GTG.
We've not... Let's see, we've not... Well, we've cleared out all locations within the dungeons that we've beaten thus far. Have we skipped anything in our dungeons?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, that may not be entirely true. I think there's an item left in water.
Ah.
Yes, it can be in spirit. And the amount of times Mirror Shield is in spirit, that's a really good location to bet.
I'll put a bet in there.
Ew, fountain fairy.
Yeah. You gotta find that letter.
Okay. Oh, no. Oak running by the mask shop.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I'm getting really concerned about when our other two runners get that Kokiri sword. Well, it's not this pass-through market. I think Oak has turned in Keaton Mask, though. Which makes it even more baffling that he wouldn't pick up Skull Mask. In that moment there.
I'd say they're just dead set on waiting for the hint at this point.
Yeah, well... yeah.
Unfortunately for them.
Spirit left hand as a bet? Okay. Alright, 26 skulls for Pyra, 32 for Oak. Inko has 31 marked on his personal tracker.
I'd say find something comfy, folks, to settle in, because we're gonna watch these runners farm some skulls for the next few minutes.
Farming sim, anyone?
It's cold out where I am, so I'm gonna go grab some cocoa or something. I'll be right back.
Alright, sounds good. Vanilla Mirror Shield, alright. Yeah, HBA was 2 new checks. It was nothing. Ooh, Darunia. I like that. Going with that. That is my bet, folks. Oh, if it was Yeet Rock, that would be terrible. Yeah, so, Lullaby locked checks are technically a little stronger here because Hammer was passed to Twinrova. It gets us Lullaby. It's probably for key logic, but it could very well be that once Pyra or Inko get into Spirit with their Strength 2, it could just be the first check. Nice little bomb-locked bomb bag there. Wait. Yeah.
Gwei, please.
Yeah, these Gwei are terrible. This is my least favorite skull to try and get if I don't have a slingshot to kill it. Which Koari has, but you save yourself the menu. Okay. You do what makes you happy, Corbinik. I will support the punning.
Another double dip of foolish DC. You love to see it.
Yeah, that's my preferred strat. Just kill it with choose.
You know, I'm just vamping. Of course we love to see it. It's OoTR action. That's what we're all here for.
Exactly. We're all here for Ocarina of Time Randomizer. Doing exactly what it is designed to do, and that is ruin people's days with a Kokiri sword on Skull Mask, where the hint is apparently like Castle 3 and Field Cow.
ZeldaSpeedRuns and golf both are good walks spoiled. That's what you're saying here, Mel.
Excuse me, Xenu. I very much enjoy my farming simulators. Oh, Oak is going back into bottom of the well. For the skulls here. Interesting.
Oof. Doesn't have ZL in hand. Oh, yeah. This is kick yourself time.
Doesn't have ZL. I think there's only one. I don't even know if there's another key for him to get, or if he's just going to have to get. Maybe there was one in here. So one thing that I would say Oak is doing is investing time in a lot of slow skulls. And that's really where, like, he was going pretty hard originally. And it's... There are bad skulls to plan into routing, unfortunately. And Oak is making some of those decisions. Oh, there was a key in the coffin? Okay.
I believe it was double defense.
Oh. Oh, I'd get that too. If I was already there, 100%. Yeah, back of Lake Hints is a good shout here. We haven't seen those. Alright.
And forgive me, Okishi is not a name I recognize from tournaments past, so this could be one of their first big steps up into standard seasons, unless I have that wrong.
I feel like Oak was Challenge Cup last year, but...
Okay. Okay.
I do not know for certain, but Oak's been around for a little while now. But you're right, wasn't top 64 last year.
Just saying, perhaps still need a little bit of fine tuning, perhaps with their skull choices.
Yeah,
but
skull routing is interesting to watch how people do it. I think what we're seeing here is Oak is probably normally much more efficient in skull routing than what we're seeing, but he knows he's missed something. And we know that that's Skull Mask. Because at this point, you're usually like, I should be able to get into some of my dungeons. I should be able to pick up some of my skulls along the way in those dungeons. And
that's a good point.
The rest of it is all locked behind that Kokiri sword.
Yeah, they're missing all those Deku skulls, so quick to get to. Yeah, that does make sense. That does make sense. Really being bottlenecked there by not completing the Skull Mask quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's just something that, like, as a backup, overworld skull routing is something to, like, keep in mind. So, like, these skulls here in Lon Lon Ranch, great to pick up. Yeah, it's a little bit of hiking, but if you have a song that you can warp out of the back of, it's 3 pretty quick ones.
How are we gonna go farm some skulls in Ice Cavern? You're gonna need to do a King Zora skip to get there, because it has not handed in the letter, which is yet to be found.
We don't have it.
Yeah. So this would be a location that the game may not.
Get out! That was letter. Get out. Leave, Pyra. That was letter on the iceberg.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there you go. Beatable only letter on the iceberg.
Fail. I'm so sorry.
Wait, you sure that was letter? I thought it was a fish.
No, it was rotated.
Oh, rotated. I see.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Yeah, just some quick skulls here.
Yeah, the ice skulls are fast enough that it's probably worth.
Could you imagine strength, like a locked strength 3 in here? That'd be crazy.
That'd be insane. But I think someone would have finished by now. Yeeting into ice as soon as they got the hover boots.
It's fair.
But yeah, I mean, that's amazing, because that means Jabu's off the table, ice is off the table for more than skulls, fountain's off the table.
Yeah.
So when I said at the start that half of the field can be just like inaccessible, that's what we've got in this seed.
Chat, Mel knows. Listen to Mel. And with that, I'd like to thank Milkweed for joining me. My name is Hagmania. As we wish you all a happy 2 hours. I'll throw the commands in the chat. Myself and Mel joining you all in the booth today. Our runners today are Okishi, Pyra, Incoherent, Inquiry. Give them a follow if you don't mind. They put on a good show for us. Let's support them back. Behind the scenes here, we've got Xenu doing the restream. I believe they might also be doing some tracking for us, along with Tomatalk, Waylon, and DFX9. Thank you guys so much. Xenu is not. Okay, very, very explicitly not. Very not. He is just restreaming. Thank you, Xenu, for all you do.
Yeah, the seed says when chat wants AD 50 skulls, how about anti-AD but still 50 skulls? Unless Pyra finds another strength in here. Yeah, Valley Patch Skull. Wait, did Oak just die? Is KZ logically dead as ice is inaccessible? I don't think we've seen the other wallet, so yes. Domain is hinted foolish anyway, though.
45 skulls for Okishi.
But that would be part of why. Alright, those lights for Inko. Taking some damage to Death Warp back up.
Here we go. Here we go. Okishi is tired of this lack of information.
This is good for us. We get info. We already know, but is this the hint?
Could this be the one? The bad news?
Oh, skipping Castle 2. Oh, it just wants this skull. Okay, not here for the info, just the skull.
Well, I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again.
I mean, might get the hint too. Okay.
Wrong door.
I would agree, Korobinic. I would get both, but especially missing. According to Oak's tracker, he is missing both the Frogs 2 and the Skull Mask hint.
Gonna grab the sword and go back adult on Okishi said. Alright, and here we go. Kawari is into the Spirit Temple.
Wait, did Kawari find another strength? And not just do skulls? I thought everyone was just grinding skulls.
I thought he turned in skulls. Quarry had leapt ahead of the count. Yeah, he started the grind earlier than everyone else.
Yeah, like we still don't know where the skull mask hint is. Oh, Inko going back into fire.
All right, deepest fire on the table for Incoherent.
Starting to struggle a little with thinking of skulls. There are 2 in Pierre, so I'm guessing that's where he's going. All right, Dins.
Ooh, I think you are ahead, Mel.
Oh, I'll refresh. Or are you behind?
Well, that's... I'll also have been accused of that many times.
Oh, I have no feed for Pyra. There we go.
Blame Hag. All right.
Everything's fine.
It's just blame
Everything's fine. That was Vanilla Dins. Fun fact.
Oh, it's a big chest on Pierre. Could this be the mirror shield?
No way. Oh, okay. All right. That
Incoherent.
Yeah, I feel very safe saying Inko is gonna take restream with that find.
Vaulting into the lead. Not that they weren't ahead anyway, but this is cementing a lead for them.
Did anyone bet Pierre? Xenu? And yeah, that's go mode for Inko. Just needs those last few skulls. His tracker says 38. 12 is going to be a little difficult, but if that's the only thing that you are focused on, he'll be in formal go mode in like 6 minutes. Darunia?
40.
What?
It was your birthday, Mel. Of course you won.
Well, yeah, but did someone actually bet Pierre? Schultzer finishing in first place, 209.56. Okay.
So you dog, you did this last time I calmed the race.
Man, I was talking to him before this race, and he was complaining about not being on the first page or whatever of the finisher list. So, GG, Schultzer. That is... The hint exists somewhere. It must. Hey, a scale.
That's some impressive skull farming, unless you found a strength 2 somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this. If someone just hard commits to that right away, and you're collecting them along the way, and you have that skull mask hint especially, and you're able to do all of the skulls. Okay, Marco. Second place, 210.54. Wow. Less than a minute behind. So the average time of the top 7 finishers is where we get our, like, bar for the rest of the runners. It'll assign a certain number of points based on what that time is. First and second place, you know, will get the highest scores, it goes down a little bit. For everyone.
Highly classified Zooter calculus.
Yeah, yeah. It's that meme of the, you know, doing math meme.
Filter, we have discussed that, yes, and congratulations on the first place finish.
GG's. Yeah, when we got our second Morpha path and we were looking at it, we're like, oh, Kokiri's sword's on an always hint. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, Schultzer and Marco, you guys just grinding out 50 super fast, it looks like. That's great. That's some high quality racing right there.
Yep. Usually around the 2-hour mark is where you expect people to finish 50 in the top 64 bracket. Or be really close to 50. So they were definitely faster than that.
And completing a spirit temple on top of that. Nice job.
Yep.
Strength 1 and 49 skulls.
Alright, yep.
That means you committed hard and early and fast. Nice.
Yeah. Also, following the hammer, we have found the mirror shield on Restream, so we can talk about that. Following that hammer path to Twin Rova, nicely done.
So I'm going to imagine that our top 2 finishers only made 1 trip into Fire Temple.
Yeah, going into Fire Temple with long shot, definitely good if you know pixel shot. I did see Inko set up Pierre. Kawari's back at GTG doing the silver block room.
Quarry doing everything except for Skull Mask.
Yes, Oak's kind of the same way.
Yep.
They're both struggling a little bit with that hint being MIA. And I don't know when Pyra goes back to Fire. You should follow the hammer, but sometimes you're like, the hammer is just for ZL.
Live up to your namesake, Pyra. Go back to Fire.
Yeah, right.
Knocked, I'd say we hold off any information until our restream racers have completed.
Alright, Inko searching for the final few skulls here.
You see a time like that, do you... I guess you're just gonna say, ah, man, that's Marco. He got 50 so fast. Schultzer, oh, they got 50 skulls so fast. Or are you thinking other runners might be like, oh, is there another strength hidden somewhere? I'm wondering what's going through the runner's mind. Maybe in Inko's spot, maybe in Incoherent's spot, they are thinking, they just beat me to it. But I could see the other runners thinking like, oh, there's another strength upgrade hidden out there.
Yeah. I think this is a perfect example where we might see some people meta off the finish times to do Scarecrow in fire.
That's fair. Going back into fire, that is a fair call for sure. And Quarry is going to take their medicine. Looks like this will be a Keaton Mask turn in.
And Pyra has Night Skulls to do here, so that'll be 50 for him. Alright. And that's 50 for Inko. Alright, Kawari about to get on the right track here. Find that Kokiri sword.
All right, and that is go, 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 go for Inko. That's a go mode.
Yep. Kokiri sword for Kawari. He'll do Deku, be able to go do fire.
And so long as he stays in fire to get the mirror shield, we'll be setting themselves up to finish the seed in a relative short order after completing Deku. But they do have to delve further within fire.
Ice Knight finishing in 3rd place. 2:20.14, so almost 10 minutes behind. So that's going to be good news for anyone who hasn't finished yet.
Yeah, it's gonna drive up that average for the first 7 finishers. Now, we did see Okishi come back into bottom of the well, but we did not see them fight Dead Hand because they did not have ZL.
Yep. Yep, and this is kind of what I was talking about. Pyra's going, ZL is the answer to the hammer. Oh no. Dead Hand is disgusting.
Forget as a child, this thing, Dead Hand freaks me out still today.
Oh, I know. The way it twitches when you kill it, it's disgusting.
I'm just not cool with things that can unhinge their jaw, so.
Right?
Yeah.
Snakes.
Right? Xenu, I'd love you even if you look like Dead Hand.
Fun facts you learn about people in Twitch chat. Apparently Xenu can unhinge his jaw. One of the nice things for Inko, he is in go mode, so he just needs a small key and a boss key, both of which are in this room right here. A little double block push on the top half of our screen. One in GTG, one in Spirit.
Neither the answer that they're searching for.
Yep. But that... Time warp there. But this is all of the keys Inko needs, so I'll just get to go straight up to Rova now.
Only 3 finishes thus far. Inko still...
Oh, don't say anything! Don't say anything! I can't comms curse more people.
with a chance to finish strong. We'll say nothing. You could have just left that burden on me, Mel. It would have just been me.
Yeah. Oh. Corey headed into fire now. As Inko melts the face.
Alright, there's finisher number 4.
Alright, let's go, Bobby. Sea Falcon, 4th place, 225.48. Welcome in.
GG on the 4th place finish there.
Yeah, GG's. Yeah, we think that's gonna trip up a lot of people, but you know what? Nicely done.
Yeah, we were discussing how to juggle all the information, you know, both the actual seed information and the meta information of, you know, hint generation. That's it's a lot to deal with in the course of running a big race.
Right.
Of course, us in our ivory towers in the comms booth, we knew exactly what was going on. Perfect info.
All right. Inko, I believe just one hit away on Rova here. Not getting a good lineup there. Just missing. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we were discussing that as soon as we found out the dungeon layout. And Exodus, 5th place, 227.38. GG's, Exo. The other thing, we didn't ever talk about this, Hag, but Inko, aside from having the mirror shield, also had light arrows.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, Pyro's gonna have to play for the hint and full clear everything along the way.
Perhaps the Peloton is falling in line now. Several recent finishes now.
And there's our top 7. Krez taking 6th, 228.11, and Cola taking 7th, 228.25.
So that is the top 7, but Inko's gonna finish within the next 6 or 7 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not too far off the average. It's not too far off the average.
Yeah, I'd say 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Okay, that's fair.
Rova takes a little longer than you think, just between cutscenes and everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oak is finally on the way to do Skull Mask. Gonna get the unfortunate hint information. And yeah, so we had, would you say, 20 minutes of skull farming simulator?
Oh, it was easily 20 minutes of us desperately trying to find something to talk about. Have to bring some icebreaker questions for the next skull farming session.
Yep. Alright. Oh. Oak gonna murder Link there. That's fair. I think it's fair to be upset about that. Especially, like, we've talked about this. These hints actually gave us more information. We didn't need the Skull Mask hint to find out that it was on Skull Mask. But it's hard to keep track of that when you're also playing and you're thinking in your head like, oh, I need 50 skulls too. Alright, Cinny taking 8th place, 230.19. Yeah, it will give you a path for each dungeon if there is a hintable item. The caveat being, for Deku, it's closed, so the 2 requirements, logically, are Kokiri Sword, to get in the door, and Slingshot, to get into Goma's room. We knew that Slingshots weren't path because we found all 3 and none of them were sling-locked. But Kokiri Sword, then, had to be on a hint, because it wasn't hinted. Yeah. Kokiri Sword isn't hintable as path. Yep.
And so the big moment actually was when the I forget who it was found first on the restream, but when we found that market to King Dodongo hint, that path hint, that was what spurred that logical chain for us to conclude that Kokiri Sword was on an always hint.
Yep. And we hadn't seen Big Goron at that point, but we did eventually see that hint as well. Alright, Pyra getting a little bit in the weeds here, not following the hammer specifically enough, taking a lot of time. So we'll see. Kawari is actually in fire, about to have to make a decision here, whether or not he does Pierre. Yes, thank you, Topfile. Yes. That mechanic is the same.
Oh, but Sir Ganondorf, we did find your light arrows in the Gerudo Valley.
Yeah. Jackstronomy taking 9th place, 233.13. Sniping all you can eat. 233.19 for top 10.
Yo, what's up, Jax? Good game. Well played. Nice job.
Yeah, GG's, Jax.
Jackstronomy, a blitz enthusiast. And in 11th place, Link Hylian. 233.53. As Kawari finds the hover boots. Jax, we learned that Xeno is so cute because they can unhinge their jaw like Dead Hand. Also, we didn't find an early K-Sword hint.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen the Kokiri Sword hint.
Welcome in, Cinny. GG. And here it is, the Ganon fight. Incoherent into the last few button presses of their race. Gonna finish with a very respectable time here. Gonna be a... Well, I won't jinx. Looking for a strong top 15 finish at the moment. No sniping. I have doomed them to a 24th place finish.
Yep. That will also happen. Alright. Got phase 1 here. Just 3 quick hits to the tail. Sometimes Link rolls a little too far. Right. Inko facing the actual worst boss of the game, the camera.
Yo, ZSR3 rating the party of 32. Welcome in to the very end of this race as Incoherent is going to finish.
Or Stream Pros.
Or Stream Pros. This is WZSR with your radio broadcast of a finishing time. Looks like 2 hours. Well, I don't have the. I didn't have a dot done here in the race room.
Oh, are we living in the future?
Might be. There it is. 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 52 seconds.
GG's Inko. We'll see if he's joining us for an interview. Fire arrows weren't path. Hovers were in Fire Cine.
Ooh, and I am not on top of my game, but it does look like Incoherent is going to be joining us in here for a post-race interview.
Great.
Our producer can bring them in whenever they're ready.
Actually, I think we can.
Fair enough. All right. Welcome in, Xenu. I'm sorry. Welcome in, Inco. I'm so sorry. My brain is fried watching a 50 skull grind. My apologies, Incoherent. Well, let's try this again. Welcome in, Incoherent, our 12th place finisher and first on the restream. GG's.
GG, thanks.
Any
Could've gone better, could've gone worse.
Okay. All right.
That's what I was thinking. You know, when I saw the first two finishers, Marco and Schultzer and Marco, so I was like, oh wow, could this be a real jet here? Is there another strength hidden away? But no, it was just gotta farm 50 real fast.
Yeah, I assume that they just started farming 50 a lot faster than I did.
Yeah, we never saw evidence of another strength hidden away there, and no one that's come into the chat has mentioned so.
And like, you don't want to commit too hard to it, because then you find the other strength, and then you're just really sad.
Sure.
Shoutouts to the Market to King Dodongo path telling me where the caseword was.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask if you had just kind of logicked that out. You definitely got Kokiri Sword way before, like, most of the rest of Restream. Pyra got it pretty close to you. But we saw all of the path hints from runners, and we're like, oh, Kokiri Sword's gotta be hinted somewhere, so.
And I was like, oh yeah, the last path is definitely Queen Goma, and then it wasn't, and I looked at that and went, wait a second, how is this possible?
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, it was definitely a whiplash moment for us here in the booth when we saw that Dodongo hint. Oh, man. So how are quals going for you, you think?
I mean, I think they're going pretty well, at least by my standards. I mean, I sort of set the goal of 3,600 for quals, and I think I'm on track for that. This is 900 plus. I don't know how much this is exactly, but pretty good.
Nice, nice.
It's great. It's great to set goals going into a season and matching them. That's always a great positive for you. Do you think you're in better shape coming into season 7 as opposed to previous seasons, or just reflect a bit on season 7 for you?
I mean, nobody's gonna be able to tell what the cut line's gonna be until a couple of weeks from now, probably.
Yeah.
It was way higher last year than the year before, and this year I sort of expect it to be higher because the seeds are longer in general. This is one of the few settings that actually makes the seeds shorter, in theory. Like when Shadow Temple doesn't exist in the entire seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, you didn't go to Fountain or Ice, but we did see Rudo's letter there on the iceberg. So, Jabu, Ice, Fountain, none of that on the table either.
Yeah, I thought about that. That's why I didn't go there looking for skulls. Like, okay, it's Minuet and might not be in Logic at all.
Yep. And I don't think you went back into Forest, but you're key locked out of Forest after the Lore Masters, so.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking about that one too. Like, okay, let me go check Forest Courtyard and we'll see if I'm just key locked out entirely, and I wasn't, but at least I guess the next check would have key locked me.
Yep.
But like an hour and something into the seed, and I am a bunch of skulls and a mirror shield from Go mode. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched all of you farm skulls at the same time. We've had
I did
few...
a bunch of extra checks that I didn't need to do, and I'm still finishing pretty well. I don't know how this happens. Probably the K-Sword, I guess, but...
Yeah, the K-Sword, the call to go back into fire was a big one.
I mean, having done GGG at that point, I needed skulls, because, like, the next best place is Spirit, and so I need 50 skulls to even get in. And there's skulls in Fire Temple, and also I know where all the small keys are.
Yep.
Oh, just from listening to it, I mean, you just you have a real good grasp of, you know, of racing here. I mean, obviously you're a veteran to the scene. You've been racing for several seasons, and I just think it sounds like you had the right plan for this seed and you executed.
I mean, you could have done some sort of bigger, more aggressive plays, I think, if you wanted to, but in a qual situation, it's sort of hard to make those sort of plays.
Yeah, we've heard that talk a lot. You know, being a little bit more conservative in qualifiers, just driving your average time down on a very consistent basis. I approve of that approach.
Like, if this is just like a weekly, then maybe you just go headlong into skull grinding and you hope the others strength them to show up.
Yeah. So how did you feel about these settings? What other ones are you liking, disliking?
So the way I'm sort of looking at this when we get into the CC and top 64, whichever one I end up in, is that my strength is more logic reading than execution. So what are the settings that sort of favor that?
Yeah.
I know there's some argument for, like, required only might be that, but you get a lot of seeds like this where it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to Shadow Temple. And that was about it. I guess Forest Temple as well, but Forest isn't particularly attractive, I don't think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, all of Well was available, all of GGD was available. All of Water was available. I did all of Water because I wanted the skulls.
I just saw Oak no in all caps, and I am assuming Oak did not get the mirror shield off of Pierre.
I mean, I mean, killing the boss I think is fine there. Just you go back in.
Yeah.
And I didn't have Pierre the first time I was there, and I don't actually know how to pixel shot, so I had to leave.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering about that. I'm like, I don't know that I've seen you pixel shot before, but I also watch so many of you that I can't quite keep track of who does and doesn't know that. But yeah, like Sydney was saying, I assumed you were going in for the 2 skulls. I was not thinking that Mirror Shield would be there.
Yeah, I mean, I knew where all the small keys in the dungeon were, and there's 2 skulls up there, so I may as well go back for it, and then I can go child and just, like, do bugs or whatever to get to 50. I think it was 39 in the Pierre room.
I think that sounds right, because... Yeah, I believe, because you went to outside Ganon's castle and got 40, I think.
I kind of had to sort of freelance a little bit on the skull routing. It wasn't quite as clean as probably it should have been, but it was good enough.
There's the mirror shield for Pyra. Oof. The long search is over.
Yep, fortunately just a Twin Rova fight left for him. Kaware on his way to Ganon's. Yeah, and Oak... I'm trying to think what else Oak has available that's not going back into fire. I don't think it's a lot.
Yeah, Oak has cleared out most of the available content, although they're about to get Zelda's Lullaby, so...
Oh, Lullaby. No. You're right.
And, like, you sort of look at that path and go, okay, it's probably just for ZL for spirit keys.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was like when you went back. I was like, I mean, I guess it makes sense to follow the hammer here, because you're out of ZL lock stuff for the most part anyway at that point. think bottom
No,
of
it's
the well.
really more the skulls, I think, and just relatively dense checks, because, like, Hammer Chest is dead. I know where all the small keys are, so they're all items. They're all pretty quick once I get up there. But yeah, I didn't want to chase that path too hard because it was very possibly just ZL for spirit keys, which there was a ZL locked key.
Yeah. Yeah. What Jax is saying. It makes a lot of sense to do that. Especially if you have long shot going in and can pixel shot. Like, just do it.
I mean, if you can pixel shot, you maybe just go back in immediately.
Yeah.
And then you're just 27 skulls for go mode or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go find the lights because you probably don't get. I don't know where's Fur's Win, if anybody found it.
We didn't see it, no. We saw Din's.
I mean, I ran into the lights randomly trying to find skulls, and then I picked up the boomerang for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But other than the 4 skulls and the lights, that whole fortress strip is worthless.
Yep.
I think Din's was vanilla. Was that right?
Yeah. Yep. Welcome in, GG's. Din's is vanilla.
Oh, one question I wanted to ask. So we have a path bomb bag, and there's a bomb bag in DMT Fairy that you can actually reach without the bomb bag. Are we doing hint logic?
Are you sure it's reachable without the bomb bag?
I thought it
Because
was,
ZL.
because the hookshot's free. Oh, the ZL isn't. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. I was like, the hammer's fine. It's ZL that's...
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you need that ZL for that, so okay.
Yeah.
We're not doing hint logic. Everyone go home.
There was enough hint logic with the Kokiri sword. That was enough.
I never found a skull mask hint, but I have no idea where it could be.
We have no idea. We didn't see it from anyone. So we're like, Castle 3, Field Cow.
Yeah, like I sort of wondered about that because I knew you needed a case sword to get to that bomb bag, so like, maybe they're all somehow hint logic locked.
Mm-hmm. And yep, Oak is going back in for Pierre.
I think this is a meta call based upon the finishes. He's like, Oak probably thinking, man, if I really have to go through all the ZL checks, there's no way I'd have a finish time anywhere close.
It would have been more fun if the case would have been on Bigoron.
Yeah. Imagine. Here's your
Like, it had to be one of the two,
prescription.
but it didn't have to be Skull Mask.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like, it's an always hint. We just don't know which one. That is true, Sir Nightwell. I do say that a lot.
And Quarry finishing up the pig here.
Yeah, good point from Shelter that it actually can't be Bigoron because then the trade item is hinted. This path only works because there is nothing that can be hinted for Queen Goma.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And having seen double paths already, I knew this was the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun to like watch you piece that together. We saw a lot of reluctance to do Skull Mask from Okishi and Kowari.
Also, shout out to missing time of day for Danpei by about 2 seconds.
I noticed, yeah. Yeah. A few more finishes. We've got Drunus in 19th, just sniping Kowari in 20th place. Kowari finishing with a time of 2 hours, 51 minutes, and 32 seconds.
GG's. So see if Kawari is joining us for an interview. Pyro won't be too far behind. Just a climb and Ganon fight, and I think Okishi's basically going to be the exact same position as well. We'll finish up Spirit about when Pyra finishes. Welcome in, Kawari. GG's.
Okay. 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
Which Skull Mask hint did I skip?
We haven't seen either of them.
One answer, we don't know.
Because I know I walked by about 5 Gothic Stones, skipped about 4 others actively. Because holy shit, if you get that hint, you're basically a made person.
Or if you figure it out from the paths.
Yeah, we figured it out from seeing the path list and the dungeon layout. Because you're missing a Goma hint, meaning it has to be on an always hint. It was Castle 2?
Castle 2 and Castle 3, really?
Wow. Okay. Castle 2 and Castle 3 apparently are the Skull Mask hints.
Okishi, oh my gosh. Okishi!
No, Oak didn't do that. Oak went for the skull.
Yeah.
Wow.
He skipped over.
That's brutal.
Alright.
Okay.
So here's my other question. Was there another strength available besides 50 skulls?
We didn't see one.
Okay.
We watched all of you farm skulls for about 20 minutes, just holding hands across Hyrule.
Oh, man.
That's the name of the holiday special coming out soon. Holding hands across Hyrule.
No. I did find it very weird that I did not get a Goma hint. And I'm like, that's a bit weird. But I didn't really put 2 and 2 together that, oh yeah, I guess if I don't get a Goma hint, it must be on an always hint.
Yep.
So, guess I'll have to remember, because I never had that situation before, where I get all my passes before an always hint.
Yeah, and especially, like, you're not thinking, oh, my always hint is gonna be the answer. But you gotta work back from the information the paths gave you, and it's like, oh, this is unhintable. That's interesting.
I think this is just your 6th race, Quarry. See if you got a couple more to make it back.
Yeah.
I believe you also have 2 left, Inko, or you've only done a couple, haven't you?
This is my 4th, I believe.
Okay, this is your 4th. Okay, so you've got 4 more left.
I think that might be without my forfeit. I think that might be my lowest. Surprisingly, it's not.
Oh no, Pyra.
What'd he do?
Oh, sometimes Ganondorf just decides to throw the ball a little differently than all other times. Okay, there we go. Oh no!
Too far away.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Pyra, no! Sometimes Ganondorf, we get so used to seeing the exact same fight over and over, of course, that you forget that this game can still troll you at every second. And sometimes he deflects the ball back on you.
Yeah, the whole reason the bottle strat works is you're standing too close to him for him to actually swing at it.
Yeah, yep.
So if you're just a hair farther away than normal, then all of a sudden he reflects it back at you and you're just really sad because you don't have time to react to it.
I've also had it where it just literally flies, like, through him.
Flies through him. And
Yeah,
he
and it's
deflects it
just
back
like, oh,
when it's like 3 feet behind him.
yeah, yep. You're like, all right,
I've
goodbye.
seen PG do that. I've never seen Ganondorf do that.
Yeah, I don't know
I
how
have-
exactly Dorf decides I'm dodging this one, but it's upsetting. The few times
The bottle
it
shots are not
happens.
supposed to work. There's supposed to be an Easter egg where it reflects, but he will just play tennis forever with you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why you don't do it when you're not standing on the platform, because he will just do it forever.
Yep. All right, take 2. Shake it off, Pyra. Feel like I had a question about something you did, Kawari, but oh, Forest. You put off Forest at the start. Everyone else ended up going in, got the Goron tunic, got magic, and then we saw a second magic available. So I was like, "Oh, this is good." Kawari just gets to dodge Forest. But you went back in mostly for skulls, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just, without easy skulls to hunt, you just kind of had to figure out your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going back to the missing skull mask hint. Really much more to say about that.
Yeah.
Round 2 with Ganondorf, no problem for Pyra. Into the Ganon fight. Kawari, thanks for your time here in the booth. How do you think your approach to season 7 is going? Are you prepped in all the the picks? What are you liking for the major settings? What are you not liking for the major or minor settings? What are your thoughts there?
SGL is better. And I'm not saying that because I made top 4.
Yeah, how do you feel about these settings in particular? Like, required only, it's something that League used for the last couple of seasons.
I hate beatable only.
Okay.
I actively hate it. It's part of the reason why I didn't sign up for League is because I just find it to be a very awful setting.
So would you have used your freebie on this if you weren't on Restream?
Probably.
Fair.
And one of the weird things here is that there are going to be settings that are going to show up in quals that no one's actually going to pick in the brackets unless they're like a certain person I know who's going to random his choice every time. Like, nobody's actually going to play cows, right?
Probably not.
Unless you're crazy.
So
To that
there's an
effect,
argument
I
here
also-
for like holding the freebie for something that you don't actually want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically, how can I put it this way? I'm going to use a different example. I don't fear trials. I fear the person who picks trials
Oh,
because
really?
they are absolutely. Because if they are the ones picking trials, they must be absolutely cracked.
Oh, I would pick Trials. I like doing Trials.
Trials feels like a high execution runner's choice because A, you have to execute the trials themselves, and B, you have to find 3 strengths most of the time.
Yeah, I am not that, but I enjoy doing Trials.
Yeah,
so-
same. I want some logical chaos, so I'm sort of looking at like Dungeon ER and like
Sure.
Dungeon Token and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'll be an official time of 3 hours and 33 seconds for Pyra, finishing in 23rd place for this race. So a bit of a hiccup there at the start for Pyra with a crash, but they recovered. Just missed out on finding the mirror shield for way too long. And but otherwise, a great race from them. GG, well played. Not sure if they'll be joining us, but we'll wait and get an answer from Xenu. Incoherent, Kawari, any other thoughts here as we're watching Okishi in the Ganondorf fight?
Nope.
Well, I really appreciate you guys joining us then. Any shout outs you'd like to give? Are you guys, you guys like on a squad or anything and get like a practice team? How does that work? Do you guys kind of group up, and practice with the same people for season after season, or is that just an individual thing? What's your approach to that?
A little bit of both.
I don't have friends. I just harvest all the races that other people do and async them. We'll figure something out for the 2 settings. I've gotten pretty good at getting the seed in the settings without seeing any of the finish times.
Yes. Do you know what your ban would be? Either of you?
Haven't decided yet.
My lips are sealed.
Okay.
Kawari playing it close to the vest. Respectable.
Yeah. Secret strats.
And into the Ganon fight goes Okishi.
Alright, well, I'm gonna head out because I gotta end stream.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for joining us, Kawari. GG's again. Good luck in the future quals.
Well, thank you for having me. Bye.
Later.
Adios.
I think I'm also going to head out and let y'all talk to the last 2. But thanks for
right.
having me on. I didn't embarrass myself in front of 200 people, so that's good.
Well, thanks for joining us, Inko. GG's.
You comported yourself quite well there, sir. Good game. Well played.
Alright, see y'all around. Thanks for the restream.
Bye.
Chat, we hope you've enjoyed the action here as we watch Okishi finishing off Ganon. It's been 3 hours of OoTR action here, and there's more to come. Xeno will let you know after we are done. But we've got season 7 quals still going here. We got 8 more races, Mel, and then we'll have groups and brackets.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Probably a couple-week break between the end of our quals and the start of groups. We're fortunately ending before the Christmas holiday this
Sure.
year. Last year, I think the last qual was like Christmas Eve.
And then sneaking in there with a 25th place finish is Okishi with a time of 3 hours, 4 minutes, and 10 seconds. GG.
GG's, and welcome in Oak and Pyra. Any initial thoughts either of you would like to share?
This game fucking sucks.
Yes, absolutely. Would you care to elaborate on a specific reason it sucks?
I haven't been playing much, and I don't know when the last time I've done Pixel Shot is, so I decided not to do it. And this game hates me, so.
Yep. And of course, that's going to be where your mirror shield is.
Yep.
How about you, Oak? We can't hear
Great
you.
insight, Oak.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there. I saw a
Is this
flash.
better?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, get your hints. Don't skip Skull Mask.
Yeah.
Literally.
Who
I'm
needs
so
a
sorry.
skull mask hint?
Yeah, Oak, you actually were the only one who was by the Skull Mask hints. We didn't see anyone read them on Restream, but Castle 2 and 3 are the copies, apparently.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I haven't gone to fact check that, but I don't know why anyone would lie.
No, it makes sense. I literally just walked past both of them.
Yeah, we saw you run past 2 and we're like, oh, Oak's going for info. Oak was not going for info.
It was just a sad time. Hard
Yeah.
last locating Skull Mask.
Yeah, so I'm curious the reluctance you seemed to have to doing Skull Mask.
I forgot it existed.
That makes sense. Yep.
I even grabbed Kamaru mask, the little fox mask in the beginning, because I was like, I think I'm gonna do skull mask early. No, completely different.
Mask, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I figured it out from the hint logic.
Oh, you did? Okay, yep.
Yeah, and I never saw the hint, but I was like, it has to be Big Goron or Skull Mask at this point, so I'm just gonna kind of boldly go for Skull Mask.
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah, we saw you get it shortly after Inko, who also pieced it together from the paths.
Yeah, it seemed clear that you had reasoned it out there. And Oak, are you up to speed on what the hint logic is? We'll take you through it if you had not seen it.
Yeah, it's so it was hinted on Skull Mask, so that's why there was no Goma hint.
Yeah.
And I was just like completely forgetting that.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. In the middle of a race, it is easy to miss anything, to not be perfect. That is very easy. So I guess I've asked everyone this question. How do you think quals are going for you this season? What do you think you can expect in your next qual races? What's that prep like? After your finishes today, what's your prep for the next quals?
Oh, preps. I thought they were going all right, and then today happened.
Yeah, they've been going okay. Like, I genuinely surprised myself with some of the scores I've gotten, because I just started like this year, so I have no idea like how I've gotten the scores that I've gotten, but I'm pretty happy with them. And then of course, like, today happens, and then you're sitting there like rethinking everything, and you're like, oh god, okay, that makes sense. All things considered, I still think it went okay. Obviously today's just not.
Sure. Yeah, and I think having just started out so recently, I think you're bursting onto the scene here. That's great to have fresh blood in the tournament scene. That's awesome. Do you I guess is skull routing something that you have worked on in your short time, or is that something that you were kind of making up on the fly here? Or bring me through your 50 skulls. You and I are both.
I was really hoping not to have to do it, but I do like skulls, surprisingly. Skulls are just something that you practice once, and then you get completely destroyed in a race where there's 50 skulls, and then you realize, oh, I should probably learn how to do this. Pyra's extremely good at skulls as well. Pyra is somebody that I watched with skull routing, so thank you, Pyra.
Yeah.
Oak and I are friends.
Yeah, full disclosure, there's tons of trash talking back and forth, but we love each other. Yeah, 50, anytime you see strength on 50, just go for it. It's, in the end, yeah, it may burn you, but it's a great test to, all right, do you know your skulls? So.
Yeah, and that's like, at the start, we're getting all of the same information y'all are getting. And it's like, you see a 50 on strength, it's required only. You're like, that's one of the items that, do you gamble on it? I don't think so, right?
I think you do, especially in beatable only. I probably should have pushed it earlier, because you learn super early that Shadow's entirely out of logic.
Yeah.
And then the possibility that Strength 3 is in one of GTG, Shadow, Spirit, Ganons, and suddenly you're cutting out half of the game potential for Strength 3, and yeah. I mean, Cindy's right, even in ALR, Strength 3 can be Strength 2 locked, but it just makes it even worse when there's half the game you can't get to. Also, shout out to Rudos on the fucking iceberg in Fountain. That's funny. Love that shit.
No.
Did we see a third strength?
No.
No.
I'm assuming not.
No.
Oh, typical. Wonderful.
Yeah, Rudo's being behind Rudo's was a fun moment.
Yeah. I was pushing that for skulls, and then was kind of like, there's a chance you could find like another strength back there or something really nice too.
Yeah, we had remarked on that. It'd been an awesome spike to skip right there and found your strength too.
Yeah, but unfortunately I found Doritos. Which was like halfway decent, because then you can just like grab the 3 skulls and bail, and it wouldn't shock me if like strength 3 was sitting there because I didn't look at it at all. But I don't know, there's some really weird things with beatable online that you kind of want to do. Like the early dip in the forest I thought was nice, because without Minuet it's really annoying to get back, and then you find a magic and you feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I kind of forgot ZL existed this entire seed, because missing that hammer and Deku because Kokiri sword. You get to the very end, you're like, oh wow, wonderful. ZL just could be along the path here, and this mirror shield could be anywhere. Let's go full Clarifier.
Yeah.
I thought that was what your decision was, to go back in.
Yeah, like logically, of course, you needed Lullaby for water completion, but like functionally, you had enough keys in Spirit. You didn't need to lower the water in Water Temple because you had Iron Boots.
I got really lucky with that with the boss key location.
Yeah, you can do a surprising amount of water with Iron Boots and no ZL. You just got to remember.
Yeah, I mean, with if you get 2 keys on your first 2 checks, you open up potentially to 5 more checks. I mean, it's not in logic, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we care so much about logic here. We don't. This is
I was
lies.
trying to figure out if there was like a weird logic you could figure out with the hints for like where Mirror Shield might be, but I don't think there was ever anything with that.
I mean, it was hammer to Twinrova.
Yeah.
So you've
I mean, I
got
was
the
thinking-
2 options,
Yeah.
basically. Well, a few others, of
The
course.
problem
but
being that like hammer to ZL
ZL.
puts like
Yep.
so much in, and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably should have actually thought about that a little bit more. I was kind of just clearing by the end of the game.
Yeah, because we had seen already, okay, Goron City Maze left was dead. Valley Hammer Rocks were dead. We saw GTG, nothing there. So you're like, all right, Crater Fairy or Fire at that point.
Yeah, fire burns so many people, no pun intended. It burns so many people. And I mean, obviously every runner has that deep fire like war story that they could tell you.
Yeah.
And so going back into fire just kind of made sense to avoid that burn.
Have you developed any heuristics into going deep fire, or is that just sort of a race by race basis?
It's race by race. Like, I think if I was even more comfortable with Pixel Shot, I probably would have just full cleared fire there. But it's just been so long since I've done it. I like kind of figured that it was hovers, and when I got boss key, I was kind of like, if I push further into this, I should probably just clear it. And then of course it was hovers, and I was like, yeah, I should just clear this stupid thing, and I didn't. But
Sure.
I actually never wrote down that Deku Tree gave me hammer, so I think I just completely ignored that like half the entire game and was just kind of clearing shit.
Sure. Yep. Well, that's kind of all of my questions. Do you have any other like comments that you want to make on the seed, S7, OoTR in general? Let's not get into that, actually. We'll take OoTR in general off the table.
Well, I could say from somebody who's recently started, I actually kind of like the F7 settings. Like the fact that in a qualifier you have no idea what you're getting until 5 minutes before. There's a rush, you know. You're randomizing the randomizer, and it's random, and it's just I don't know. It's refreshing every time that 5-minute settings rolls and you're like, all right, what do we got today? Because you have no idea. And then boom, you're pressing start and you're going.
Sure. All right. Oak's the thrill seeker of the group. Anything from you, Pyra, or just kind of...
I should re-retire.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
All right.
you're such a good racer. All
Yeah,
right.
all right.
Call it, I think.
Well,
A
with
good
that
5
then,
minutes.
on that depressing comment, I'm gonna have Xenu take us out.
Yo, I'm right there with you, Pyro. That's
There's-
honestly, this game has destroyed us in multiple years of our lives.
If there's
And,
anything I'm really good at, it's being a ball of sunshine.
Yeah.
I just bring the joy.
I've retired from this game. I think I'm at retirement number 11. So yeah, we're up there. All right.
The Terry Funk of Zooter.
Yeah.
6 in the last month.
Oh, let's
Every
go.
time I
But
do a
anyway,
race, I'm like, this one's fun.
yeah. But here's some objectively better randomizers happening on CSR in the coming days. We have some Skyward Sword randomizer. We got their weekly coming up, apparently. It's actually pretty scant on the schedule in terms of stuff, but we've got the Z2R standard tournament, their quarterfinals between... wait, that already happened today. Never mind, I can't read the schedule. We got Tears of the Kingdom, that's what we have coming up. Tears of the Kingdom 80% tournament coming up on, let's see, restream schedule. That will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively. Got the Z2R weekly happening on Thursday at 9 p.m. And then a bunch of Tears of the Kingdom stuff happening at 3 a.m. Friday, 2 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. Friday, midnight on Saturday. It's all over the place, but those are all Eastern time. In terms of other randomizers, Saturday we've got the Wind Waker Grand Finals between Advocate and Rick Schmitty. That's going to be happening at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then our regular standard weeklies that are also quals for OoTR happening at their normal times of 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. But that's going to be it for us. We're going to go ahead and send this off to Cubs. Thank you guys for a wonderful, wonderful restream. Be sure to follow our trackers, our runners, and our commentators. They all did a wonderful job, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.